Good evening, friends. This is Arpita here. So, as on the series, today we are going to talk on Awakening Series Part 8, and the topic is patterns. The minute we hear the word patterns, we know that it is something which is repeating. Okay. First, let us understand, what is patterns. When we are talking about a topic called patterns, what are these patterns? Patterns it's the situation which are repeating again and again. We get to see many times, we see in life that the same things again repeating. We feel very helpless about something. So the same thing is happening again and again. We don't know what to do. But they are why are these patterns actually coming up again and again? Why are we attracting a particular situation again and again repeatedly? It is because there are so many. First, we need to understand we carry many memories. Every cell in our body is carrying many memories. So every memory is still alive. The memories which are still not unresolved in the story. Maybe these memories are coming from your past or your ancestors or anybody, from wherever they're coming. These are the memories which are wanting to reach the completion. They are still not resolved. Okay, they remain unresolved. So in this state, to put that particular memory into completion, we come across a pattern which is repeating again and again and again. They make us realize, these patterns make us realize our scripture, our own personal scripture. Okay, we all have a story, a beautiful story. We all hold, when it comes to family, entire family, our ancestors, everything. We come across, it is a complete scripture we hold on within ourselves. So to make us realize what is our scripture, how it is going, and what is the moral of the entire lifespan from all these generations we are trying to leave as a mark towards the next generation, coming generations. So this is what we need to realize, that's the reason these patterns come up. And then their patterns are those, they will throw us into the path of completion. You need to complete that. It is a task. You need to complete that. Many times we get to hear, sometimes in dreams we see a person from our ancestors or anybody who is dead or maybe who is still alive, but we just get to meet. We don't know what to do. It itself says, whenever you are connecting to any person from your family, whether it is your grandparents or great grandparents, or even somebody who's already lived and passed away, or maybe somebody who's still living, all these people, it is understanding that part, whichever your story is, repeating a part of their story. Okay, why it is repeating? Because it needs completion. It remained unresolved then. Now here you need to resolve. That is the reason many times we see, even when we sit in our own silence, not even in the dreams, even when you meditate or when you sit in your own silence, we get to meet so many people. We get to connect to somebody from our family. Whenever we are meeting, it is very clear statement from our subconscious mind. Information comes that there is a story which is running in your life at that moment, which is very similar to their story. Now it needs completion. Okay, it needs completion. That is the reason, the story, you are connecting to that kind of personality. Whenever you are connecting to anybody, whether it is your not only just your family person, but anybody whom you feel very as your reflection, or as your close to you, or you are influenced by a particular person, whenever you connect to that person, that itself means that a part of their story is again repeating, coming, you are living in your day-to-day life, that there is some completion you need to get on. That's the reason this has to come. Okay, they help us in not only understanding why these patterns come up, is like they're not only coming to understand our scriptures, or even to bring a completion to whatever the situation we are going on, whatever is the moral of that particular system which is going on there. It also makes sure that you're consciously reframing the system. Like, for example, I'll say there is a family which from generations to generations going on only divorce, or going through only divorce pattern, or very early there is a death of a partner in the family, so there is a widow kind of a life, loneliness, as all this is going on. Many generations to generations, there's the same thing which is coming on. Okay, now when you get to see, when you connect to uh, 1 second, yeah, and when you connect to that particular picture, that particular, when you are connecting to that particular story, the same thing, when you are doing the same thing, and you are coming from the same pattern, maybe it is your own family ancestors who hold the point of continuously going on divorce all the time, and loneliness, and all this widow life, and all this is going on. There is probably no male child, and the family is going through only a female child from generation to generation. Now when you take up, when you remember, when you connect, when you get to know all this information, that itself means you are born with the capacity of changing it. Okay, whenever we see, whenever we hear our ancestors or our elders saying that, no, oh, our family is like that, our family is from generation, this is what is happening, it is the same thing which is repeating. That's when we need to understand that why is this repeating again and again? What is this? Is it looking for completion? I know the story, and I've come to this point, and now it is my turn to complete it. And life gives you every opportunity where you can complete. Yes, Anup, good evening. Okay, so every time whenever the thing comes, the life will give you all the opportunities to complete it. Like, I will give you an example. A family which has got no girl child. Okay, from generation to generation, there are only a male child which is coming birth, and taking birth, and it's only the male child which is coming up, and after that there is no female child. And now after a certain point of time, when there is no realization, or it is going on, life gives an opportunity somewhere, that slowly the wish grows in every generation as they grow by, at every level, that I wish I had a child, I had a girl child. Yes, Indragan, good evening. Yeah, I wish I had a girl child. This wanting a change, wanting a change, all this will come up. Yes, Satya, hi. Okay, so all this will slowly come up, and this bring a change. And now after a point, life will give you an opportunity. One person from this generation will attract a partner who is holding only the girl child and no masculine child. Okay, these things happen. These things, the one person is coming up with only the male child in the family and no female child, and the partner, the person is attracting, is coming from only the female child and not the male child, not many male child. And now this combination is giving a break to both the patterns which are being coming again and again. Okay, it is what is created. It's not just life has to show something or anything. Consciously, at every step, a person is building up a wish. Okay, I wish I had a girl child, I wish I had a boy child, I wish I had this child. Because in so many generations there is no girls here, and there's so many generations there is no boys here. It is quite obvious that people want some change, and the wish may flower from inside. They might wish for something change happening in life, right? So when this change is coming up, and when they slowly go on into this change, they get into the point of manifesting it. When the wish is growing and it is intensifying, they tend to manifest us. Any wish, when we say yad bhavam tad bhavati, when we say, when every thought manifests, but if you intensify it with your emotions and with your feelings, it manifests even more quicker. Okay, life at every generation is giving you an opportunity, because what is happening, why in some generation it is failure, we don't connect to that solution at every generation, because we are not yet in, the wish is not the want or the desire or wish or whatever it is not yet been intensified. Right. Once it is intensified, now you will see there are so many things, opportunities life is trying to give. So this is how pattern comes. Whenever we are coming across a similar patterns, it is not just we are pattern is repeating because you have to learn a lesson or anything. It is because there is a change which is coming up in it, and you have to consciously reframe. You have the complete opportunity of consciously reframing your own story. Now you can change it however you want. Okay. Maybe in a generation we see in a life, we see, a parent is having a, earlier there was a time that, it was not, polygamy was going on, and one person, we call him Rama. He maintained a point of, there's own no, many wives, there's only single wife. That was a new thing which has happened. That was a new thing which has come at that times. Why he is called as Adarsha Purusha? Because he have formed a new system which was not there at that point of time. Right. And when these things are happening, there is so much of destruction happening. See, not like, with the minute you identify a pattern and it will open up very easily, you tend to see. And now when I give the example of, a person is coming up with a boy child, one family, and girl child with one other family, when the both meet, you must see that there was, what is that which is it just the manifestation of a girl child and a male child both equally in a thing, or why, from where this space has come, why in all these generations there was no the other personality in that, why there was no girl here and why there was no boy here. There must be something, there might be some not liking, or not liking for a girl child, or not wanting to a girl child, or not wanting a male child. There must be so many things. So now when you slowly begin to accept the system, anything, and slowly you bring every, we must understand that realization is a beginning of reversal. The minute you realize, everything begins to change. So it is like realization is, you are just knowing it. Okay, till now this has happened, and now this is going to change. Now this we need to change. Now when we are going to change, there might be some pressure or something. Like, for example, a person is going through loneliness and early widow state in a life. Okay, there is so much of loneliness carrying in that person. Maybe generation to generation the same thing has happened for at least 3 to 4 generations. Probably the women or men are gone through this lonely state and lot of depression on all these things in life. And now when every generation will again carry forward the same loneliness, they may not identify from where this loneliness is coming, but in spite of having a very happy married life, they will grow this loneliness feeling. They feel very lonely from inside. Now, from where this is coming from, we need to understand that it's a story from the previous generations which got carried forward because there's a memory through our cellular memories. And now when you take it, that was their past. Now it is not needed. We have to realize it was their past, but now here I don't have that loneliness or anything. My family is perfect, and I have my relation with my partner is perfect. Okay, that is over then, and I have nothing to do with that generation. This generation is already, through me, with this completion, is already evolved, and now you walk on that moment. Generally what happens is, in what chaos brings in a family is, we connect to the past and we try to read every present situation with the perception of the past. The minute we are looking at every present situation with the perception of the past, even the present situation, you are not able to see the completion in it. You are only seeing the incompletions. Why we see only the flaws in a person? Because that flaw we are connecting from some past which is coming again. There is a past story which has made that impression in your mind about that flaw. So whenever you are looking from the past, even in the present moment, you see everything, there is the flaw the same way. Now we need to see that was then. Is it now again the same? When you see, oh, it is not now the same. When you relay, when you get back to this present moment, now you see the pattern is no more. It is not repeating anymore. It is over. Now it is a fresh start which is coming up. Okay. Now when you see, now we get to see, when we meet a person, maybe we have a very, very traumatic experience with that person in our life, or very, something very, very painful. Okay. And whenever you meet a person, whenever you meet, even after 5 years or 6 years or any years, any number of times, whenever you meet a person, immediately you're connecting, because that pain has not yet been healed. As long as that pain has not been healed, now you will always see there is, whenever you meet the person, the pain is again awakened. Okay, if you have to deal with the pain, the pattern is repeating. This has become a pattern. Whenever you're meeting a person with the same frequency, or maybe the same person, or the same different person with the same frequency, the pain is activated. The pain is again coming up. It is becoming conscious. Now you get to see everything through the pain which has already happened in the past. And that's how, things get more worsen. Okay? Now here we need to understand that, every pattern, every time, everything, whenever a similar thing is repeating, we need to see that similar thing is repeating, because I need to realize, and now at this point, that past is over and now it's a fresh start for me. Okay, and this fresh start, past might connect back again, but it is okay. I give the past also a new opening. It is okay to get back the past. It's okay, but you give a new opening to it. You don't. It is okay if you live in an old house. It is okay, but you renovate it in such a way that it looks very new, and the old glory comes back again. Okay, the forgotten glory comes back again. This all things can become. That is the reason, this pattern repeat. And every time, whenever a pattern is repeating, we understand at the subtle level, the few things are getting added up towards the completion. Every time, whenever there is something new, whenever in every generation, a certain pattern is coming up. That's the reason we are able to see, oh, my boy is same exactly like a grandfather, or, it just behaves like grandfather or grandmother or anybody. Why are we relating? Because it's the same intelligence which is flowing, right? Because when the same intelligence is flowing, the child might tend to behave in the same way, right? When they are behaving in the same way, we need to understand at the subtle level, things are repeating because it is towards the evolution, towards the completion. These things are repeating. So something which has already probably is completed, and we have to realize and take it to the next step, or maybe this will be the last stage for that completion, and next generation will not carry forward this. We need to give our next generation a fresh page, not a baggage which is coming from the past. That is the reason it is very important to realize ourselves, to know ourselves, to repair, to reframe ourselves. It is very important, so that we are not giving the same story, the same pathline, the same perception and same thing to the next generation. Okay, and whenever the process of evolution is always on, you don't have to worry, like, oh my God, I have to do so many things I have not done today. I'm already reached 50 or 60. I've not done anything related. I have known it very lately. It is okay. You have not been conscious. That is all is the point. And being conscious takes just one moment of time. You don't need generations of time just to be conscious about your own scripture. We are so busy in reading, still Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata, everything. We are reading the same stories and same things, and we are trying to repeat the same versions and same with the different perceptions and everything, but read our own scripture. We are forgetting to read our own scripture. We all are holding a beautiful story within ourselves, which can leave a mark of completion towards universal evolution. Right. See, in a class, when you are joined in a class, there might be, a strength, maybe 20 children or 40 or 100 or however. There might be a group of children join in the same class. Okay, and what is happening? Not everyone is getting the first class, but everyone is shifting to the next class after the year is over. Only the people who are failed completely in all the subjects and all over, there was no much change, are only remaining back in that, but rest everyone is moving ahead. So the same way, when in a generation, in a pattern, from generation to generation, when the same pattern is repeating, understand that every time there is a change which is already happening, we are just not able to be conscious about it. We are not able to realize about, because we have forgotten to read our own scripture. We have forgotten. We don't want to know about our grandparents, how they lived, what were their thought process, what were their stories. What do I do? They lived just like ordinary people. What do I do? No, everyone is holding an extraordinary story within themselves. We need to realize how they might have handled life. That time there was no technology, nothing and all. And how did they did it? How did they communicate with people? What was the system? Was it from the heart, or how it was? We are sending emojis nowadays. When WhatsApp, how are you? We are sending this. We are sending so many things. There are hardly any words. That time there was no emojis. Now, how did they communicate? Okay, we get to see. It is like unwillingness. It is mostly what happening is when you are unwillingness due to attachments, when you don't want, because you are attached to something so much, you don't want to bring a change in something, and due to unawareness, you are not aware consciously, and because there was no proper knowledge about something, this makes the process slow sometimes. All these things, it's only the unwillingness or unawareness and all these things, lack of knowledge, all these things will make the process slow, but the process will happen. Every step, every generation, the evolution is moving ahead. We need to realize and acknowledge it. And why do these patterns repeat? It is because of genetic tendencies. Okay, these are the tendencies which are coming from past few generations. It is going on. That's the reason they keep repeating. And tendencies are like they are stored in the memories. They are memories stored within our system. What are these tendencies? They are nothing but the memories. They are stored within our system, and these memories manifest in the form of situation. Every time there is a situation coming up in front of us, it is nothing but the memories which have manifested. And it is why these memories are manifesting, because there is incompletion in a particular story. Loneliness has been there in so many generations. Loneliness has been there. Maybe in some generations we have seen, in some lives there was only women who are taking care. There was no masculine help. Maybe early widow marriages or whatever, how they are dealing with their lives, how the women have dealt in life. Nowadays, women are still working and they are self-sustained. In those days, that was not the situation. But how did they survive? What did they gone through within themselves? Psychologically, emotionally, mentally, what did they go through? Every situation, at every generation, this is building up a strength of a feminine power. Okay, they're building up the strength. We are not aware of that. We are not being aware of that story, but we are only seeing, oh, I struggled a lot. In every generation, we are struggling. My grandmother also struggled. My mother also struggled. Now my child is also struggling. We are only seeing the struggles. We are not seeing the strength which had brought to these generations, made these generations to move ahead. And unless the completion is felt, unless you realize and recognize and be conscious about this completion within, the process will always be slow. You can never see the process happening fast, and the pattern may carry forward from one generation to another generation. Okay, so that's the reason always being unconditional. Whenever you are you have been flexible, you have been unconditional towards anything, this will make the manifestation faster. Okay, and sometimes, because these patterns also repeat because there's a lack of support in the surroundings. Sometimes the surroundings are not supported. Maybe you have understood, oh, this is the pattern I'm coming across from my parents, and now I need to change this. Okay, from generation, from grandparents, it went to my parents, and then it has come to me. Now it's my turn to change it. Okay, it is change it and take it towards completion. By changing it, you are not changing any completion. Like, for example, I'll tell you, uh, maybe in a lifetime, a child has seen that his father, okay, the child's father has left his parent, one of the parent, so, very early, and moved on with his life evolution, with his job or new things and all, never looked back to the parent. Okay, now the child, when this child is growing, fortunately the child is thinking, no, I will not give that kind of life to my parents. The child has understood the pattern, and the child suddenly taken a decision, no, I'm not going to give the what my parents have given to their parents. I will give them, my parents, the best of life. Okay, they've given the best of life. In that, whatever compromises he had to make, the child had to make, the child had done all this. But these compromises are also leading to incompletion in some way or the other. So it is not about a pattern when it is repeating. You need to give a completion to the pattern. Don't change the pattern. When you're trying to change the pattern, there are other 10 things which will walk into incompletion. Okay, when there is a pattern which is coming, there is a series. It is like a beads in a one thread which are trying to enter and make a perfect, the garland kind. Okay, then a nice mala or whatever you call. Okay, this is how it is happening. Now we need to understand that changing the pattern does not mean you are just changing. You are doing it everything in a reverse way. By doing repeating, by doing the thing, it is only the perception is changing, but things are not changing. In other perception, there are the other things which are repeating to you in your story. Okay, maybe that was the only thing which you had to handle, but by making that one thing reverse, you have, what were the 10 things which were going on perfectly, you have reversed everything, all those 10 things. Now it is not one thing, but you have to deal with the 10 things. And every time you're trying to do the same thing with the 10 things, other 1,000 things are coming up. This is how we all are coming across so much of confusion in life, and so much of, oh, I did this perfect thing, and the minute I take care of one thing, the other things comes. I take care of the other thing, and the other thing comes. This is going on repeating. It is going on repeating because that one pattern, you didn't, every pattern, whenever it is repeating, you are trying to change it, but you are not trying to give a completion to it. How do you bring a completion to it? You just understand that this is how it is happening. This is what it is happening. Now, what is the end to it? Till where it goes? What is the root cause? Root cause is the loneliness, or root cause is the strength. What is the positive aspect in that? Now, let me focus on the positive aspect of this pattern which is being repeating in this. Okay, so now whenever we are trying to nullify a pattern, it is looking into the areas of incomplete wishes. What was the wish in the previous lifetime that a particular generation has wanted? They needed a complete family life, or they needed a love, a partner's love, or they needed what it actually they needed. Okay, when you try to give complete to that wish through your story, the past that is wounded, whichever part is wounded and the form of a pattern is healing. Okay, it takes a lot of love and care and nurture. This is where, to dissolving the pattern, you need a lot of love and affection, nurture. You need to nurture yourself. This is where self-love also comes into the factor. The moment you have love for yourself. Now, how do you develop love for yourself? By just connecting to yourself. How do you connect to yourself? It's a thirst. Your intensified wish to see yourself. The minute you have an intensified wish to see yourself, it is your love which is making you do it, and the path will be open. Okay, automatically you don't have to learn the techniques of how do I go inside, what is the procedure, through this or through that technique, or you don't have to do a knowledge shopping outside. You have to just in your own silence, and when you identify, you realize a small thing. When your eyes are open looking outside, you are looking at every image outside which is going on. But when your eyes, the same, the eye overlapping is turning inside, you are looking every image which is there inside. And how all these images have come inside? Because you have captured it, all these images inside from outside world only. Okay, and it has merged, all these images have merged with the memories which are stored in every cell of your body. And now the situation, with the combination of these two, the situation have come up. Right? Now when you realize, when you heal, when you realize that this was the incomplete wish, and this was the root for this thing to happen. So when I heal the root with so much of love, because the minute I looked at myself, I know how to express myself. And now the way I'm expressing myself outside, that is when I know what is my pain, where is that I need to heal. And the one who wishes to nullify the pattern needs to know the power of self-love. Okay, the self-love is very powerful. We need to realize it, we need to live it, and we need to bond to it. And becoming conscious itself will start the process towards clearance, towards completion. Okay, we need to understand that every step, there is a pattern, which whatever pattern you feel, it is the same thing which are coming up in life. Now become curious about it. There is some task for you to do for your ancestors. There's so many things we do for our ancestors. We say, Pitru Puja and all these things. There's so many rituals we are already doing. But this is psychologically, when you understand, this is the issue which is running in my genes, in my genetic tendencies. Now I need to change it, because if I don't change it now, if I don't realize and heal it now, it might pass to the second generation. Now every generation, there are so many things which are passing on. We are not conscious about it. Every generation is still trying to complete something from the past only. We are not referring from the past. We are holding on to the past and living it. Okay, because we are not conscious about it. We are only thinking that, this pattern repeats, this goes repeat. When will this come out? I don't know. This moment I'm doing it. I'm taking it to completion. I'm fulfilling the wish. This is my wish. I'm fulfilling it. Okay. Now towards integration, what are the steps towards integration? All these things you understand about. First is, whatever thing has happened, how are you perceiving it? Whatever happens, whether it's a situation or it's a memory you remembered, or any way you have identified a pattern which is repeating, whatever way, how have you perceived it? And now how authentic are you in your perceptions? Sometimes whenever we are perceiving a thing from a situation happening or anything, it is always, our perception is based on what we understand about that. Okay, we have already have so much of knowledge which we have acquired by seeing this situation and that situation. For example, a child has seen the parents always fighting. Okay, and now the child has come into the conclusion that husband and wife are supposed to fight. Okay, that has been taken into consideration and started believing the point that husband and wife are supposed to fight. And now the child attracts a partner in life, and the partner is always cool, calm, or never in fighting. And this child will start feeling, why is my partner not fighting? Am I not good enough? Am I not a good partner? The trust, the mistrusting about things. So all these pictures, what happens is, you are perceiving everything based on something which is already there. There is no authenticity in this. Now authenticity is when, if it happened there, that does not mean it has to happen here also. Just because there is a night in some part of the world happening, that does not mean that there will be night in every part of the other world. Okay, if we are coming through a state that it is night now, in some part of the world it is a day. Right. So we need to identify that. And now